Hello, welcome to the 50th Special Moves podcast. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm alright.
It's going very well. The big 5-0.
Big 5-0,
We've done it.
50 years old.
Yeah.
No, podcast episode 50. It's crazy.
It's not really indicative of how many weeks we've been doing it because we have loads of weeks off recently because of our jobs. But still, it's still a milestone, baby.
It's a big milestone. Do you know what though? Every single episode, I'm like, podcast 49, eh?
Yeah, and you do it off camera as well.
Yeah,
you know, he's like,
yeah.
What are we on
I'm
now?
just sort of impressed by big
it's
numbers.
like when somebody asks what your kid's age are, and then they go, 7, getting big now. Oof.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's what it's like. Yeah. Time waits for no man. All right.
This is the Special Moves podcast. We're available on YouTube. If you're used to listening, you can watch it on YouTube. If you're used to watching it on YouTube, you can listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Just right on in your browser, you know. So I wanted to see just about like where we are. So I just searched Special Moves podcast, and fucking first thing that comes up is Google. Like it's integrated into the Google search now. Google Podcasts, I think, has been around in America for ages because when we first started, loads of people were saying get on Google Podcasts, but we couldn't do it because it's region locked to the UK. But like you guys didn't even know it existed. I didn't know it had been rolled out. But yeah, our episodes are just on Google Podcasts, so we're also on there, which might be news to some people. Might be, I don't know. Someone might have been listening to us from Google Podcasts from day dot. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
well, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like we put it on Podbean, don't we? And then it just sort of. You know, that fucking puts it everywhere. Like,
it puts it everywhere. That's the thing as well, yeah. And like it as a podcast, like it always surprises me. As a YouTube channel, you know, we've been sitting pretty at 9,000 for a long time. It doesn't really matter. The podcast is like boomed everywhere else, which is quite weird. So we've made more of an effort, haven't we now, to be like, and if you're listening,
absolutely, I just want to acknowledge the fact that
public knowledge that they deserve.
Well, that's how I do it. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts in a week, like just on my commute and stuff, and in work sometimes and whatever. It's just it's part of my life. And then with this, I've always thought of it as like a YouTube podcast somehow first. I've always thought of it as the video thing. I guess it's probably because we go into the effort of like putting lights up and getting a camera out and all that.
Yeah.
But then. Loads of people are listening to it.
It's like the fourth most the fourth most popular platform is YouTube. So it's not even like the bronze medal.
Yeah,
I mean, so
exactly.
Fucking hell, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Anyway, I don't know why all that happened. It's because it was an anniversary, because it was 50th, and
we just having a look
got
back,
philosophical.
Remember?
Yeah.
Back in the day when people said Google Podcasts.
Yeah. How times have changed.
Sticking through this 50 times.
Fucking boring, isn't it? Right. Should we talk about some Modern Warfare? Because both of you have been playing a bit of Modern Warfare this week, haven't you?
Yeah. Me and Liam have played it together.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
A couple games.
I had a stolen hour with him. I was on my lunch break. Stolen hour. Like, because normally you've got to put planning into these things, haven't you? And I just said, "You on?" And he said, "I'm just making myself some chicken fillets."
Oh yeah,
and then it's simple as that.
Needed using.
Yeah. Stolen hour. That's magical. That's made something very innocuous seem quite romantic, actually.
Yeah, I cherish all the time playing games with Liam, and this was no different. To be fair.
So how was this then? What was your? Because was this your first real? Because Liam played the whatever they had.
The Alpha.
Gunfight Alpha, which was like the 2v2 mode.
Yeah.
Did it only have gunfight in?
Yeah, that was the only mode in
it.
At that time, anyway.
We did a video on that and stuff, didn't we?
Yeah.
And, but so then, Jake, this was your actual first time
playing
at the party.
Yeah, man. Well, funnily enough, it feels like it's not my first time.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know what it feels like. It's funny because we actually put a video up about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Alpha, which has this 2.2 gameplay thing, gunfight, and like. It was slower paced or faster paced, however you want to look at it. People are saying it was more tactical because it's you've got less room for error. You really need to try and keep yourself alive because you're 50% of your team, right? Mm-hmm. And then this is just the kind of the full whack multiplayer. I mean, I think some modes are being held back, but there's still like there's a 20 versus 20 kind of domination mode, headquarters mode, search and destroy, but it's called cyber attack now. Yeah. Team deathmatch. You've got your kill streaks. You've got your 6v6.
All very Call of Duty.
Yeah. And it's just that basically.
Yeah.
There is. I think there's gunfight you can click on.
I think so.
I think there is gunfight, but it's in a separate menu because I ended up playing Cyber Attack, which again was in a separate menu. But so you can have a feel for these two things. I just want to put a big underline through this that gunfight is a new mode. Cyber Attack is search and destroy with a new name, right? So this is like their big tactical push that they're doing. It's just search and destroy with a new name, and it does that siege thing where there's like 6 people on a team, but when someone dies, it'll come up saying 6v5.
Yeah.
Then when someone,
Well, this was as soon as they showed off the first trailer for this, I was like, straight away, I said they're just going to try and do the Rainbow Six thing, and it seems like that's what they're trying to do, but also trying to maintain the COD-like identity in a lot of ways, and that is in the snappiness and the speed of movement and the how the guns handle and all that. But they are very much, because Rainbow Six Siege is it's a phenomenon. Like it's really it was like, was it pretty much one of the first Ubisoft games to do this thing of like coming out and being a bit wet, and then after a couple of months, like some time passes, they keep working on it, and then it actually just starts snowballing in popularity.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft had a bit of a track record for a little while of just turning these games around. They were coming out and weren't popular.
Division 1 and then For Honor. They all had that similar treatment, right?
Yeah.
But 6 seems to have outlived the Division 1. Well, certainly, because there's Division 2 now.
Yeah.
It's probably outlived the Division 2.
It's still going strong, Siege. They're like their 5th year pass or whatever.
And that's, that's some of that is to do with the fact that they haven't iterated on that, and there hasn't been Rainbow Six Siege 2 or Rainbow, they haven't given it a sequel.
They stuck to their guns, kept it in engine. It feels like a bit of a better value proposition then. It's just buying these year passes and stuff. But speaking of the trailer, the thing that I found funny about this going in was like you said, the first trailer was very Siege. Remember, it was the blackout and that. The second trailer was Enter Sandman by Metallica. Juggernauts jumping out of helicopters, noob tubes flying everywhere.
So that was a bit more like Advanced Warfare type.
They could, honestly, if you strip the name out of that, if you watch those 2 videos blind, you probably wouldn't think they were for the same game.
Yeah. I mean, Call of Duty trailers, they look like fucking Power Rangers, man. I really, it gets on my tits. Like in a kind of like nothing personal, but I just kind of look at it and I'm like, what is this shit? And it's like colourful, like red camouflage soldiers and all this, and everyone's got a skull painted on their helmet and shit like that, and they're like really, there's a bit of Enter Sandman or your metal track of choice, and it's just, I don't know, to think where the series was, it was like a fucking, authentic was their thing about being a World War II shooter, and then this is where it is now.
It seems so weird, man. And so anyway, down to the gameplay itself, like, I don't know. Me and Liam played it, and there was a lot of running, dying, dying.
You were playing it and sort of telling me about it as you were playing.
Yeah.
And it was like nice to see this little. This is good, but then this is shit, and you had just had like these balance points.
I am stream of consciousness, aren't I? All the time.
So tell me some of the good points. Tell me anything about it that you've found.
Well, I want to ask Liam about this because I don't know if it was my telly. Like, I think the game looks amazing. Yeah. It looks a bit washed out. The colours look like they put some weird thing on it to make it look.
It does look nice.
Yeah.
It's just they've got like a weird sort of like smeary anti-aliasing on it.
Is that what it is? Because it looks a little bit.
It's like they've overdone the motion blur just a bit.
Okay.
It's one of them where like you see a lot of games doing all this weird sort of like that new Zelda. It's got like that blur at the top and bottom of the screen all the time.
All these like depth of field effects.
Yeah.
And everything.
So this is it's got a real nice look to it. My game looked really desaturated. It's just
it looked fine for me.
Maybe it's because I was playing it. It's a bit of bright day and I turned the brightness up because there's a like. Make sure you can see the snake in this box.
It'll be that, yeah.
But it still looked really nice. But and I've been playing Borderlands, where the colours are very vivid. So it just looks a little bit washed out. It looks nice though. The guns sound cool, feel like nice.
Sound design's really good.
Isn't it? Big time. I've been playing with an SMG, and then I just this morning got out the old AK-47, a game. Favourite, a staple of everybody really. Anyone that likes guns, you've heard of the AK, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's Mr. Tried and True. So you know what an AK is like. You've played it in about 100 games. How's the AK feel? That's a real test, isn't it? How does the AK feel in a game? And if the AK's popping, then the game's good quality.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Like
that's the old proverb, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Because it's like like you guys tell me. And I bet you both probably know. What's that M16 in COD 4? Is it the M16 A11? Or
why would I probably know that?
Don't know because you've got good memories compared to me.
I have not.
Well, I want to say A4.
Yeah, see, right. So there's something like that,
like the paper.
But then there's also the M16 A whatever else, right? That's what I mean. So like, unless you're like gun savvy,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to compare that. But with the AK, you know where you are.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I was wondering why are we going back to it.
So if
Okay.
you can get an AK-47 right, I'm happy. And
that's
got
the
it.
baseline.
It was powering out, man. It was doing all right.
All right.
Kill streaks and all this extra shit. It's just exactly what you think if you hadn't have seen all the marketing saying it's redefined, it's tactical. So on that front, I've got to say that's very disappointing. You can't, like, it was like, you know how all the history nerds were going, oh, they said it was dead authentic, but they can't even put a fucking swastika in it. And I was like, fuck off. And now they're doing it with a tactical thing. It's going to be tactical. And I was like, oh yeah, all right, I'll give it a go. I do it every year. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Nah.
I
Same.
get like an annual interest spike in Call of Duty, probably
Yeah,
about a
it's so
month before
funny.
it comes out, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have it. Maybe this year,
Yeah.
and then it really does peak at the day that COD comes out, and I'm like,
Yep.
I almost every year,
Yep.
I get pretty close to buying it, but not very often.
Liam always is
follow
on the
through.
beta, and he's always saying it's okay.
Yeah,
Like for the past few years now.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm always like, okay. So I joined him in this one. 43 gig download it was. And I was like, right, we'll have a go.
because even that feels somehow expensive, doesn't it?
Do you know what I mean? It's like the Code Vein had like a multiplayer beta.
I mean, that's a full game, really, isn't it?
43
gig just for the multiplayer beta.
Because like, it's free. It's complete privilege that I know, but it's like I thought on Thursday afternoon, I'll jump into the COD beta tonight because it starts tonight. No, you started on Friday morning, Jake, because it's 43 gig, and it's like, oh, fuck off, So yeah, I don't know. I've played it a lot. I'm like rank 16 or something like that. It's probably not a lot, is it? But you know what I mean. I've unlocked loads of stuff.
Right.
I've unlocked a lot of stuff. I've unlocked different kill streaks. I've unlocked a lot of different guns, and I've like done the gun mastery kind of thing where I've got so many kills with the MP5 that I can go to the gunsmith. It's called, isn't it?
Customize it. Put different sights and barrels and
but
suppressors and
not
everything on it.
Pink camo, like you might initially think. It's stuff like
Because
that.
this one's a tactical one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so you can change the muzzle so it reduces flash
Okay.
or whatever. But I don't know. I was enjoying it a bit when I was playing it with Liam. I was enjoying it not one bit when I wasn't playing it with him.
Okay. How are you feeling about it, Liam?
I actually quite like it, Like, from the moment-to-moment gameplay, I think the gunplay in it is very solid. Probably the best it's been in years in COD.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is down to, like, the animation and sound design. Because when you fire a gun in, it's like, wow, this is powerful.
I feel like probably like Apex Legends is like leading the pack on how because Titanfall 2 was like just felt amazing, like just to play, and I feel like Apex Legends is the most recent good example I can think of that's like I really like how that
I
plays.
jumped back into Apex
Yeah.
immediately after Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, like, it feels smoother than
Apex.
Modern Warfare. Apex feels smoother, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, think Apex was made by the people who made original Modern Warfare.
Yeah, well,
Exactly,
absolutely.
yeah, exactly.
They were all former Infinity Ward.
Exactly, and it really showed. Well, it showed with Titanfall 2 for me mainly. Titanfall 1, that's one thing, but Titanfall 2, I was like, fucking, these are the masters at doing this, at making this like really fast first-person shooter game.
Fluidity is really good, and you don't have to overthink everything.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to think, am I like super close to this wall? It just everything like you
Just
you
makes
dream
sense.
it and you do it. Yeah, exactly. I want to run up that wall. You're always getting the angle right. The game's very nice with that.
It's a mix of like also like animation, control inputs, like being when you're like coding games and stuff. That's such a big part of like how does the game feel to play? It's something we don't really think about. We don't think about the programmer like putting stuff in and making sure that the character is moving for the like precise amount of milliseconds when you move the left analog stick and stuff like that. And that's it's a whole recipe of things that they've got to absolutely nail to make feel that good.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you sound like COD is almost sort of getting there, and it feels like
almost. I like what they're trying to do with it. They are, at least to me anyway, it seems like they're making an effort to differentiate it from the Black Ops 3, the Black Ops 4, and all that. And they're trying to do something.
I actually think, which sounds like it's really, I don't know how this is going to be perceived, but it's like a culture problem. It's the people that are playing it. So that the game is designed to be played slower,
right?
But the players are still people called like OO snipers, OO or like
sprinting right into the action.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the COD players. Like, it's a stereotype, I know.
Because you die quick in this one as well.
To be fair, though, that's what they've had for 10, 11, 12 years, or however long it's been going, as a Modern Warfare, post-Modern Warfare thing. that there's just a certain way that you play COD, and the COD has been ramping that up for. Yeah. It was ramping it up for years and years and years.
You can literally slide through a door in some of them, can't you?
Yeah.
You can slide, and whilst you're sliding, 2 foot the door.
Yeah.
Whilst sliding again.
And then they were adding fucking jetpacks and wall running, and you can fire a drone out your ass while you're knee sliding and all this stuff, and they just adding to the speed and the how frantic it is.
And now, Liam's right, that to me, that's what, and I said it to you, I think I even tweeted it, all they've done is, they put not all they've done, but they've renamed Search and Destroy to Cyber Attack, and they've tilt the time to kill and time to death down.
Yeah.
Big time. So, it's basically
one burst and you're gone.
Like a Western draw. It's like that. Cool. It's you see someone, they see you. Whoever gets that aim down sights and gets that 1 or 2 bullet in is the champ.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And Search and Destroy has always been tactical. It's always been the same. Hardcore Search and Destroy is exactly the same every COD game.
Yeah.
You die in 1 hit if you're playing it at hardcore. You don't respawn. You plant the bomb. So there's an objective. You can't camp. They've got this and that. Mm-hmm. So they've got that in there. And with Gunfight, they've done it so that your life matters, even though you've only got a couple of bullets. But the rest, it still doesn't quite feel like they've got it right. How is it tactical when it's domination and it's the enemies are taking point A and I've just spawned? First thing I want to do is run to point A. I'm not going to walk. I'm not going to mount my gun on the wall. I'm going to run because I want my team to. So it's encouraging this running into each other. And there's another enemy running through a corridor. I'm running through a corridor. We see each other, and then one of us dies in 1 millisecond. But it still feels like that. A lot of the modes, like Headquarters and Domination, just seem a bit confused with this tactical message. Yeah. So it's just too messy. Yeah. It's trying to be both at once, I think. But I can't tell if it is doing well, but the players don't want it to go that way.
Yeah.
And so they're playing. I can't tell what the problem is, but it's just not working for me. But Liam's right with everything he's saying. The guns feel amazing. It does seem like they are making an effort, but I can't tell if it's they're not making it enough or the players are just rejecting it.
They're still trying to fit that.
Sort of stuck in their ways almost.
Yeah, because of course that's what they...
if that's what you've been doing for 10 years.
They've been conditioned.
And that's what you get rewarded for at the end of the day. Killing people quickly, get more kills, get kill streaks, get flipping...
Unlock new weapons stuff for them.
There's not one thing I noticed that they added that was cool is if you join a game halfway through, your win-loss ratio is not affected. But if they wrap Battlefield 5, I felt like they really did a cool thing where they really encouraging objective-based gameplay. Yeah. It's always been that case, really. But if you want to make something more tactical implies you need to think. You need to give players a reason to think more.
Yeah.
And when you're playing a team deathmatch, there's only 2 ways people think. I'll sit in this one place and shoot, or I'll run around and shoot. And that's it. So there's nothing that tactical about it. So I don't know.
Yeah. I feel a bit lost when it comes to shooters and stuff at the moment because I just haven't got one. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got.
There isn't one.
They're just, and even Destiny. I've tried going back to Destiny a couple of times in the last few months. So it's not grabbing me. I've played it and I'm this is still what I like about it. But and I know that there's loads of stuff going on. It's just that I've fallen off the Destiny to the little wagon that they had going on of content that's coming out, and there's exciting things happening in terms of the Bungie have gotten rid of Activision.
It seems like the trains left the station. And when it gets to wherever it needs to go with Shadowkeep or whatever, it's going to have content, but it's not immediate, is it?
I just don't know what it is. I feel like I'm too far behind somehow now. In that MMO-ish type sense, I feel like, I've got loads of catching up to do, sort of thing.
It's it's become like Warframe.
Yeah.
I tried getting into Warframe a couple of months ago, and it just felt like I was never keeping up with anything.
Yeah, and
so
I
just couldn't be bothered.
You just can't commit the time to do it when there's loads of other games as well. But at the same time, I don't have this casual sort of shooting experience to just jump into. It's not going to be COD by the sounds of it, based on what you guys are saying. And then Battlefield just isn't. I just fell off Battlefield 5 very, very quickly. There's loads of good stuff about it. There's loads of good stuff that I enjoyed about it, and we had a couple of gaming nights and stuff with Special Moves patrons and that, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm a massive Battlefield fan, historically, but there's just nothing that I'm feeling this is going to be a really good sort of shooter experience.
I thought that might have been Borderlands 3 for me, but I got my character to level 50, and since then I've not had any desire to go back.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Because it's just playing through the campaign again slightly harder.
Yeah.
That's the only real difference for you. But Borderlands 3, even though I really enjoyed it, it's like I don't really want to go back to it now.
That's where I think maybe it might have been worth the gamble of going the slightly more Destiny-fied route of like being a more like live experience. And having a social area.
Bits of DLC before Christmas, including a free one.
They've got like a Halloween event. It's their first announced
that's
one.
free, isn't it? And then the others are behind the season pass, but that's before Christmas, so it's like, it's quite.
And you'll hear someone say, "I think maybe it should be a live game," and a lot of people will be like, "No, I don't want it to be a live game." But you think about the benefits of that. If you're like Liam, who's enjoyed the game and you still want to play it, but
I just don't want to go through the campaign again.
Playing it again is like and it's
those
not
jokes were bad the first time round. They're not going to get any better.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a weird one. So let's talk about a completely unrelated email. This is our Dear Special Moves inbox, so if you want to send us an email, it's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. Send us an email, we'll read it out and have a little chat about it. This one's we've had some interesting ones this week, actually. It's been pretty good. Right, I'm going to start strong.
Okay.
And you'll see where that's going. Good day, lads. Good start. I like that.
We can establish where he's from.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're dissecting.
Enough said. Yeah.
Okay,
I used to get quite bad back pain from gaming for any more than an hour or two. My couch isn't very supportive, and I tend to kind of melt down it into a puddle of relaxation after about half an hour. My posture was pretty crap. So I get that. I sort of slide down the sofa a little bit. So I started powerlifting and strength training a few times a week. I found that on days where I trained, I experienced little to no back pain immediately, and after only about 6 weeks, I noticed none at all. And I stopped sliding down my couch like a boneless toddler. Deadlifts are really great and a great exercise to stop back pain from long periods sitting, and certain accessory exercises like inclined dumbbell rows, dead bugs, and chest raises really turn my posture around.
Classic, let it be known,
In short, I highly recommend strength training for gamers as it creates a healthy architecture for long play sessions and encourages good health habits. It's also really easy to get started and kind of addictive because you feel results really quickly.
Is that from Kratos?
Hope you're all doing well. With regards. No, but it is from someone called the Big Wald.
Wow, he got that name for a reason, didn't
nice one, Waldo. Well done on going to the gym for starters. That's a big one, isn't it? It's not easy if you can't be asked. But it's I get that. I get like these are quite comfortable sofas, right, for me. But actually, no, it's my old. So we've got a sofa in the other room there, and like. That kills, man. And when I was like playing Destiny and stuff, after about an hour or so, I just start realising that my fucking shoulders.
I play standing up most of the time.
Yeah, this is a great fact about Jake, which I'm sure has been shared already. But you like to play games fully just stood up in front of your television, don't you?
Yeah.
So your TV is at eye level, isn't it? It's like
so
you're
my
above
TV
a fireplace.
is above a fireplace. Yeah, wall mounted above a fireplace. Yeah. So I sit on the sofa. And then we got like a little like you can get those extensions for sofa, like a footstool thing, but it's the same height as this.
Yeah.
So it's like a little. It can turn the sofa into an L shape. I sit on that like at the edge, so the girls can sit on the sofa in it, and then you're
sort of perched, like leaning forward a bit.
Leaning forward, and then I end up just standing up, isn't it? So I can take it in.
I remember you did it in my house before, but you just went on your knees. You just went on your knees in front of my TV.
Yeah, like worshipping at the TV.
It's like a 5-year-old kid or something. Just like I need to be like 2 feet away from this screen.
I used to play PS1.
Used to back in the fucking late 90s, probably, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've just never got out of it.
That's wicked.
I had a conversation with somebody at Gamescom about this, who everyone's like at Gamescom, no one was just doing one thing. Everyone had like some sort of side. Like when we get in Ubers, and every Uber driver's not just an Uber driver, they're also
doing business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it was like that. Like every time you met someone, they've always got this elaborate scheme, and one of them was saying that they want to make some sort of fitness-related gaming crossover thing,
right.
like working with publishers and things like that to like how to get Kratos' body, for example, or like there's a lot of muscly men in games. So like imagine like a men's health magazine, how to look like Gerard Butler or whatever. They were saying like if there was like a diet to like be like the Doom guy or be like Kratos or whatever,
right.
And then they can work because I think he's like a personal trainer. with publishers to make an official like diet thing for it, and then gamify that somehow because fitness is very much like that.
Okay.
Hitting certain high scores and targets, 10 deadlifts, 10 this, 10 that, and then seeing results a lot like leveling up in real life. So it's like, I remember having this, and I remember, yeah, exactly, I had that face, but obviously not like that at all. I was like very reserved.
Just
and nice.
inside.
Yeah, but inside I was like, all right,
yeah.
Good luck with that. Good luck looking like War from Darksiders or whatever.
Do you know what though? It sounds like the kind of thing certain people would buy into though. It sounds like
exactly. And that's
certain 16-year-old kids, for example.
And you can't ever take the piss out of anybody that's gonna want to better whatever motivates someone to better themselves that way. If they're doing it,
Nintendo's got that thing coming out.
Huh?
Did you see
Well, they've
that?
always got a thing coming up.
Yeah, it's
like
fucking cardboard.
It's like that ring, you put a Joy-Con in it, you strap a Joy-Con to your leg, and it's a fitness game, but in the guise of like an RPG.
Yeah,
imagine you were just like, you just met someone and you're like in fucking having some food or something and they're just jacked and they're like, what are you? Oh, fuck, you're in good shape, man. How did you do that? Well, I was sat on my sofa.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the trailer for it? It's wild.
Yeah, it's weighted and everything.
It's like, you want to defeat the goblin, strike this yoga pose.
Yeah. Defeat the goblin.
Hey, that sounds good.
It's like slowly hold this lift for like 30 seconds.
Well, they tried it with the Wii, didn't they? And to some extent it did work because I remember tons. And so for those that don't know our proper geographical location, we live on the coast of North Wales, where typically a lot of English people come to retire for some reason. They've had enough of England. They go, fuck it, we'll go and live by the sea. Yeah, it's nice and quiet. Everyone's dead quaint. So there's a lot of old people around here, and as a result, there's a lot of care homes.
Yeah,
and I guarantee in 80% of them care homes, there's a Wii.
Yeah.
And like I know a lot of care workers. There's a lot of jobs in this sort of industry. Friend of the channel, Triceps, that was his old job before he did it. So and in Holywell, everyone's a live streamer or they're a care worker. I know loads and loads of care workers. My sister is one, and everyone uses the Wii. Old people still use the Wii for all these things. So Nintendo and Fitness, it's worked before. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this guy, what's his name? The big
Wald.
Big
Wald says start doing deadlifts because it's worked for him. He's not getting back pain anymore. And I'm assuming he's pretty strong now.
Stand up in front of the TV.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly an idea going down to the gym, but
Yeah, just think about that. Just be aware that they exist.
Yeah.
Innit? Just a little PSA there from your friend. Special moves.
I've sort of related actually. I got a new chair.
Yeah.
Got a new desk chair for my PC gaming setup because my old chair was like 10 years old and it had like a gas power lift thing so that you could adjust the height of it. Mm-hmm. At least you could at one time, because now when you sat on it, it like sank down slowly, and I wouldn't realise because I was playing games, and then by my arms and my
looking at that
keyboard
guy from Spirited Away,
my keyboard would be at eye level after about an hour, so I was like, what the fuck? So I got a new desk chair, and then to take it for a spin, I have been playing a lot of Conan Unconquered on Steam because it's like a free weekend.
Oh, that's such a natural segue to.
Yeah, I should be in radio, man. But it was so Conan Unconquered. I've actually played before. We played it at EGX. Was it this year?
It was EGX Rest.
Yeah, that's it. And it was a good demo. Like you could play it for an hour, and I came away feeling pretty good about it because I enjoyed the demo. And we played a bit of co-op, which is like the key feature of the game. So it's like a wave-based, They Are Billions rip-off, which I have to say. By the way, everyone's raving about They Are Billions. Stronghold has been doing the exact thing since like 2001 or something. No one's talking about that though, are they? That's the way. That's what that game is.
Massive, if true. That.
No, it is true. You build a castle, and then waves of enemies come and attack your castle. That's what They Are Billions is, except they're zombies, and there's a lot of them.
That's good, Fucking
I know it's a hot take, but there
Deep
you go.
Cuts.
Yeah.
So Conan Unconquered is a fucking Stronghold clone.
Yeah. The thing is, the PC Master Race would normally be all over that. Yeah. So it's like, what are you gonna do about that?
Well,
you're gonna shit on Stronghold. You haven't got it in you, have you?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You haven't got the stones. Anyway, so you play the Stronghold.
That's the fucking hilarious Stronghold joke, actually. Stone needed, man. It's more stone needed. So I've been playing Conan Unconquered quite a bit, and it's quite good. It's quite enjoyable. It's on sale for about 10, 11 quid or something at the time of recording. Sale would have ended by the time the podcast goes out, so that's totally useless information. No. But at that price, I'm like, I'm pretty close to buying it. But I think I'm just like similarly to what I was talking about with the shooter earlier. I'm sort of looking for like a good strategy game as well, really, because I've been playing Battle for Middle Earth 2 for like the fucking 20th time since Kale let me gave it me. So I've been hammering Battle for Middle Earth for like the last 2 years or something, and I just want a good like RTS PC game. I'm just I'm sort of desperate for it. But then this wave based thing is like is a good interesting spin on it. That sort of just does something else with a formula and that, and it's pretty close to being a good game. That's the problem. I think it's just a couple of things that it still doesn't feel like if I put a 10 down, I would get a 10 out of it of enjoyment somehow. Because even playing the free stuff, I'm like, well, it's just I can't quite put my finger on what it's not quite nailing, but it just doesn't feel like the when you're, for example, when you're researching and you're going through the upgrade trees and stuff like that, it just sort of feels a little bit like, well, there's just loads of trees and loads of upgrades and shit like that, and that does give it depth, but at the same time, I can only afford like fucking 5 soldiers to go around battering the enemies and that, because I've got so much research to be getting on with and shit. Yeah. So it's the balance and stuff. I'm not quite.
Sounds pretty into. Civilized for a game about barbarians.
It's fair. It's kind of it's actually not really. It's all like scorpions and that, and then there's people coming and burning your fort down and that, and it does the wave based thing like solidly. Like it's just a solid job of doing it. But like things that They Are Billions does that are interesting is like, to begin with, is the massive overwhelming numbers, and when they first come on the screen, you just think, fucking hell, how am I going to sort this out?
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of varieties of horrible things that come after you and that, and you've got a huge variety that aesthetically They Are Billions looks like just really, really nice. It's a hell of a nice looking game. The technology is interesting because it's it's all like steampunky type stuff, so they can be a bit more like creative with it. This is just like Age of Empires level. Someone who throws a spear, someone who's got a sword, a ballista tower or something. They're all things you've seen a million times before in RTS games, and it just I don't know if Conan was like quite the right universe to use.
It's a shame because Conan has got a very, very detailed like lore behind it, and a lot of high fantasy cliches probably drew some source from Conan, like especially like ones of like giant scorpions and stuff like that, Clash of the Titans and things like that. Conan, like,
but that's all. That's literally what you've got. You've got giant scorpions,
those bat people. But it's like that's done before, like gargoyles. Like it's been done.
Yeah.
So it's annoying that, isn't it? Because in a way, Conan it is an original idea, but all the clones that we've seen over the past 72 years, have like just made it.
It's.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it sort of doesn't feel like you're playing a game that is got a strong, like, exciting sort of thread pulling you through it. It's like you've done that challenge, let's go and do another one, and it's slightly harder, and so it's into like that's what I'm enjoying what I'm playing, but I feel like if I put the money down on it, like would I be able to would I go back to it, and would it keep my attention for a long time, which is sort of essential, really. So yeah, I've been playing that on PC, which is quite nice.
Was it free this weekend?
Yeah, it's been.
So that's why I know there was a big push for it. They removed the RM from it, and there was a big push for it. Which is
the recent reviews have been they shifted on Steam to mostly positive. So and it has been mixed overall.
Well, I remember it being mixed because we got a review copy of it, and I didn't know if this was going to be fixed, and it was so. Listen to this. It was so bad, right? The day one like sentiment was so bad.
It was.
I actually said to myself, I'm going to wait and see a week or two if they fix stuff before I even bother, which then led to me not playing it. So we got an early copy of it for free.
Yeah.
Never even played it because I did like the tutorial because there's 3 characters that you play as, and one of them was hidden or not hidden, locked behind a big fat fucking, and it was like was it 60% of the full price? So it was like 13 quid or something like that. And then it was like 8 quid for this character. So it was, you know what I mean? Over half.
Well, I think the game's base price has actually come down to about 18 quid. That might be wrong, but I think it has come to below 20 quid, whatever the actual game is for without the sale. It's less than 20 quid now. So I feel a bit mean, like just going, I've been playing it for free and I'm not even sure if it's worth a tenner. But it's just, it just feels like they're a good studio. They make good strategy games, and they have made like some of my favorite strategy games. But there's something about this one that is just not quite clicking for me.
It was turned around so fast, though. Like the game was made in like 10 months.
Yeah, I think it seems a bit surface level somehow, and I don't quite know how to say it. It seems like some assets and that have just been like, I'll get some scorpions and fucking do all this, and then the walls will just be like that, and then it just there's nothing drawing me to it and keeping me there other than the fact that simple like wave based thing is quite. I reckon
if they announced like that it was in early access, no one would have a problem, really. But the fact that this isn't in early access, this is like Leo Billions was in early access. They've added a campaign now. Like I went back and played that when it came out. It was a massive improvement on what I first played.
Such a cliche to say that it feels like it's in early access, but it's it does kind of.
We hardly say it on this channel.
No.
Hardly say it.
We're articulate young men, aren't we?
Well, that's it. We don't really have a moan either much, to be fair. Like, even this is very polite. Like, Modern Warfare earlier, that was me.
Yeah, it's a bit Hugh Grant, isn't it? Gosh, I'm awfully sorry.
Yes, and I hate to say it because I'm playing it for free, of course.
Like I said, I'm incapable of saying something's bad even if I don't like it.
Yeah, Liam's just like,
unless it's
all right.
What did you... Unless it's Event Horizon.
That's the
most
you get
distasteful
I've ever been on the channel.
It sounds like the most uncouth. Yeah, that sounds like the start of a statement. It's the most distasteful I've been, and for that I apologise. All right. Well, listen. This has got some comments about what we're like. This email on the channel.
Okay.
And some flattery. So
is it distasteful written by Liam?
Distasteful's not in there, no. But
only in reference to Event Horizon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there's another email here. Dear Special Moves, this is Summer, which is a fake name. Okay. From the US, but I recently moved to Norway. Remember when you would hide your Game Boy under the cover and pretend that you were asleep when your parents came into your bedroom at night?
Yeah.
Well, I believe I am the adult version of that. Old habits die hard. When I worked in a really boring office, a co-worker of mine and I would sometimes rent out meeting rooms and pretend to be in meetings when we were actually setting up our computers, Nintendo Switches, or other gaming devices, and playing some mad video games. The average American office worker definitely doesn't have 8 hours of work a day, and most of the time we could get our work done in 3 days. So many days we just spent the rest of the time gaming and hanging out, while the rest of the office thought we were working on crazy hard projects. I don't particularly feel guilty about this. I guess because, as I said, we always got all our work done.
Yeah, of course.
But it felt like a video game sin that I should absolve. So what underhanded tactics have you guys tried as adults to play games when you shouldn't have? Great podcasts and videos. Keep up the good work. No, here we go. You are the only sufferable video game news outlet out there, frankly. So the compliment is that we are the only ones that are sufferable, especially for female gamers. No bullshit, dumb jokes. No shitty dude bro culture. We were just talking about powerlifting, actually.
Another email.
Yeah, just good quality gaming info. I hope you get more followers soon because you deserve it, Summer. Thank you very much, Summer.
Thank you very much.
I think
and living in Norway now.
Yeah.
From America. They'll work you hard there. It's the richest place in the world, isn't it, Norway? But they're not going to have a dosser on the team. You're going to have to work hard for that.
Yes.
So I have
maybe like just ramp it up to 4 days of work then, rather than 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. Don't push yourself. Do you
know?
No, I know what you mean. Like I used to. I'll tell you one. I used to be a medical typist, right? And so like, I used to work at a night.
I don't know why that was funny.
Yeah, why is that funny?
To be a medical typist.
Yeah,
it's quite a common job around here.
I know, but it's just the.
It's a weird one because
I know exactly what your job was as well, but I just didn't know.
So if you don't know what medical typist is, it's somebody that like a doctor's appointment. Normally, a doctor will have like a dictaphone, and he'll be like, right, like as soon as the appointment's over, he'll speak his notes in, and then the next patient will come in like 2 or 3 minutes. So they can't type, so they'll just speak, and they might use abbreviations and stuff. Well, my job, I used to work the night shift. I worked completely by myself in this big office building, The only other people that worked in the same building were the floor above, and they worked at Samaritans, which is a suicide hotline. And because of the nature of that, it was like 24 hours, right? So it was me and then these 2 people on like suicide watch. So I was left to my own devices, and it was a typist job. I'd have a set amount of work every night, and then after that, because obviously all the doctors are asleep, all the people are asleep. That's it. So like, and I can type pretty fast. Like I think it's like 119 words a minute. Yeah. So I would just smash, and a lot of the time the doctors would use the same template. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you for coming for your annual medical. Because I worked in corporate healthcare as well, so it was like banks like Deutsche Bank and Morgan Stanley and that. They would have annual medical checks and things like that. So a lot of the time it was like standard medical. So that means that it'd be a standard response. So anyway, I could do my work. I used to work 5 hours a day, and I could do my work in about 3 hours. So I used to like fucking watch films or whatever, and play on browser games, innit? But so that's it really. What I'm saying is I haven't resorted to an underhand tactic to play a game, but that's the closest I've come to that. And I know what you mean about if you do your work, you don't feel guilty then, do you? Because at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? Like make more work for yourself, like an idiot? No, you're not getting paid more, are you? You're getting paid to work, and if you've done your work, why work more for somebody? No, don't do it.
The only time I can think of doing anything like that was probably in school, and because I was very, very lazy in school, and I used to, like, and you could play games on browsers was like, I don't know, it was a big thing.
It was Alpino Black Sheep when I was younger, but I think it was like Miniclip as well. That was like
Miniclip, but then I ended up finding loads of these.
And they get blocked, and you'd have to find a way around them.
But we talked about this before, I'm pretty sure. But that's the only time I can really think of, like, they would send the class up to the library because that's where the fucking computers were or something, and then we just be like, yes, and we'd start punching, like, George Bush's face in with boxing gloves or whatever was on Miniclip.
Was that the game?
Well, that was one of them.
Miniclip, that,
was it?
Yeah, I can't even remember. But there was loads. There was so many different games.
Have you got a story like this?
The only ones I've really got are similar to Mike's, where I remember specifically my A-level business studies class, where for some reason it took, because each lesson's in like 2-hour blocks for some reason, and then it took everyone like that full 2 hours to do their work. But for me and a couple of friends, we did it like for half an hour, 40 minutes, and because it was all on computers in the business studies class, just had like an hour and a half to do fuck all. And so we just play Bloons Tower Defense.
Bloons is very popular. I think you can get it on Switch. I've got one that ends in failure. Can I tell you this? Because it might be a good like little fable for them.
Yeah, okay.
All right. When I was younger, I had the GameCube, right? And I was about 12 or 13 or something like that. And I was playing Hitman 2. And it's like some of them missions were like stakeouts, like they're dead long, like. And my mum and dad were like, it's time to go to bed. And the GameCube's got that big orange light on it, hasn't it, that gives the game away. Mm-hmm. So my sister's always been a bit of a crafts woman, like a crafty person. Like, when I say crafty, I mean doing crafts, not sneaky. And then so I cut out a bit of black.
Confusing because this is some sneaky story.
It's a crafty story.
Yeah.
So I cut out some black card in the shape of the light, and I put it over my GameCube to hide the light. So then when my mum and dad came in, I could just turn the TV on standby. And because the room was dark, they wouldn't be able to see the wire, which sloped from my GameCube to my cabin bed, because I had the cabin bed. I've always had the height advantage my whole life, for not a tall guy. And that was it. And all they'd do is they'd come in there, check for that orange light, innit?
Yeah.
But could they not hear the disc drive, though? Because it could get a bit loud with GameCube.
To be fair, they never really came in. That's the thing. It was
literally just like an open the door and go again.
So this story ends with me doing well on Hitman or whatever. I turn my telly on standby. I climb down from my cabin bed. I go for a piss. And then I come back into the room. I'm on complete autopilot. And then I turn my GameCube on. And my finger's still on the on button. And I remember my GameCube was on. You dickhead. And I've kept it on because I'm on a hard mission on Hitman. And I haven't auto-saved. And I can't... Like, I could probably, thinking back, have pulled the wire over my cabin bed to get my GameCube controller, then with one hand... No, I couldn't have, because my remote was on my bed, so I couldn't have reached the remote, because I was thinking there was a reason why.
So suddenly there's some, like, Mission Impossible, don't take your finger off the fucking detonator.
Yeah, but I needed to turn my TV on, get into Hitman, try and manually save, and then turn it off. But I knew there was... It must be that I couldn't get my controller because it was on my cabin bed.
Yeah.
So I had to just go... Goodbye, old friend.
And you realised you just had to swallow this valuable lesson, didn't you? You were
That's
just
exactly it, yeah.
this is what
I played myself. Yeah. So it was like, do I wait longer and just think about it? Or so I knew I had to do it, and it was paining me, and I had to go 3, 2, 1,
I'm pretty sure I've done.
Boom.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so my whole night of being sneaky for nothing. So there we go.
And you couldn't even like express your anger or anything. So you had to be quiet, didn't you?
Yeah.
Just be like,
just a single
take that, go to bed. Let's do.
Good, that isn't it?
It's a good story.
You'll learn something.
Yeah, I've learned something. So let's do another email then. Last one for the podcast. Dear Special Moves, I recently played Control. This is the what's the studio called again?
Remedy. Very good game.
I recently played Control. The graphics were amazing, too good for my PC at times, and the combat was one of the most robust versions of third-person shooting. The thing that took me by surprise, though, was the fact that it perfectly disguises itself as a linear story, when in fact it belongs to the Metroidvania genre. I didn't even notice until I finished the game and looked it up online that I had missed 2 or 3 of the most useful or basic skills that you can unlock. As a result, I played through the game without the shield or the slam attack. This led to the game becoming almost impossible in the later missions, especially the final one. I even contemplated quitting it completely at that point, as I didn't know I was missing anything at all. I got through it nevertheless, and I have to say that I was really missing this sort of story-driven game. It's really unfortunate that it didn't sell very well at all. Thank you, and keep up the amazing content with the utmost respect. Wow. Thanos from Athens. Hello again, Thanos.
Thanos returns.
Yeah.
Inevitably.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Can you explain what he's talking about there, Liam? The old.
So Control, on first glance, it appears like it's just going to be a point A to point B to point C linear sort of story-driven game.
Yeah.
But then it starts opening itself up, like probably about a couple hours in.
Yep.
And you can backtrack wherever you want. You can go for very Metroid-like, but in a 3D environment instead of a 2D plane. Yeah. And so there's like hidden abilities that get locked behind side quests and stuff like that.
Oh.
And
which sounds like you kind of need them.
Yeah, the game can get quite difficult towards the end. Like they really overwhelm you with enemies, and especially if you don't have the shield ability. With some like projectile enemies that can pretty much one-shot you.
Right.
So but as far as I remember, the shield is like, I think it might actually be optional. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it. This guy was.
There's a lot of like weapon upgrades as well that are essential to getting through the game.
Yeah.
Really, but again, they're optional because you can just upgrade it whenever you want. You just have to go get the materials.
That's pretty interesting. I'm still interested in playing this game.
It's a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to whatever this DLC they do for it is.
Well, Thanos sounds like he enjoyed it, even though he was having a hell of a hard time with it.
You know what? All I've heard about it is good stuff.
Yeah.
And do you know what else? It's like a little bit of a Fight Club kind of thing. I haven't heard anyone talk about the ending, or everyone keeps talking about how amazing it actually is. But I didn't even know it was like so non-linear like that. Like people don't seem to want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Which is normally a real sign of, in Thanos' words, utmost respect.
I feel like in this instance, though, it was a word of warning rather than
just take your time and explore. That's all you have to do, really.
Yeah.
If you see a side quest, just do it.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of, you've not quite got levels, but there is like tiered abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
I'm so bad for like not doing side quests, so I just don't like.
It's because you're used to a world where they do fuck all for you.
Yeah.
But if they all gave you important stuff like the shield, then I'm sure you'd do more.
Yeah,
you know?
no,
I mean, they're worth doing as well. Some of them are just like fun to do.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing. It's like in The Witcher, that I want to do side quests because I feel bad for the NPC, which is an amazing fucking achievement for CD Projekt. I'm like, oh man, that's a bad story.
He really needs that pan.
Yeah, I'll help you out. So that's for me what would be the ideal motivator. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a nice shield is a fucking.
I think there's one ability you don't even get unless you go out of your way to do a side quest for it, and it's a very helpful ability. The ability to levitate.
That would be. I'd have that one. I'd have that ability. Do you know what I mean?
And it's so handy to have in the game as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. It sounds pretty good.
If I had the ability to levitate or
game.
not,
it's a good game. I recommend people check it out. It can get very weird, but that's what I like about it.
So before we jump into the new games, then we have got a couple of videos coming up pretty soon. We've been playing Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening on the Switch, which is very nice, isn't it?
It's really lovely, nice to look at, nice to play, just charming all around. Really,
it's I've been really enjoying it actually, which is pretty cool. And there's something else as well, isn't
Untitled Goose Game.
Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah, that was the one. Which Liam has finished.
I finished,
and I think I'm going to get it. It's currently on sale on the eShop, so it's launch price.
25% launch discount.
Yeah. So the launch price, it was about 18 quid or something, but then the launch price is 13, 14 something. So, I'm getting close to picking it up, and you guys have been pretty interested in getting this, haven't you, for ages?
Yeah. I just love these sort of like high concept games.
Yeah. Where you play as a goose.
All you need to know is the tagline for the game is "It's a lovely day in the village, and you're a horrible goose."
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
It's very like low stakes and funny, but
it's very funny.
So yeah, we're gonna have a couple of videos on those two coming out over the next few days, over the following week, I guess.
Because we are away again. So there's no podcast for a while now. That's important for those that are just listening. Because again, some people don't even watch our YouTube channel. But if you're dying for some more of us and you only listen to us on like Apple Podcasts, now, we do like standalone videos. Like I don't know how obvious we make it sound, but we do videos like specifically on like little games, like little focuses.
Yeah.
We just have a chat about specific games. We try and make them like as relevant as possible, like Gears, Borderlands, but we do pick a lot of indie ones.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Like a lot, like what? Probably 10% of our comment section are people saying, "Never heard this, checked out because of you, thanks," which is like crazy. Because it really is like 1 in 10. So if you want,
it's basically what we want to be doing as well. It's like just having a nice chat about good games.
We don't try and make every game positive. We don't hate a game and then make a positive video about it. Like the amount of videos that we haven't done because we've played it and then it just wasn't like. For example, I remember Liam did Blair Witch.
Yeah.
We had Blair Witch done in like a day. We could have put a video out. It probably would have done okay as well because it was like so fresh. But it just wasn't good enough for the channel. So like, we try and only talk about good shit. Because there's loads of shit out there, isn't there, in the world?
There is.
In the gaming world and in every world, isn't it, really? Yeah. But we want to do that. So check us out on there, man. Because we haven't got a podcast for 2 weeks. I'm away, and then the day I come back, Mike goes away.
Yeah, like a prick. We've also got bonus podcasts if you're a patron, so you might be a patron and not realise this, but we put out a bonus podcast every couple of weeks, so there's usually a couple of them going out every month. So check out the Patreon page, because that's where you get the link to the bonus podcast, and that's sort of like off-topic stuff, and there's a bit of games in there, but it tends to be like a lot of film and TV stuff. So check that out. So let's do the new games, guys. Are you looking forward to anything this week? Because there's loads of shit.
Definitely.
And rather than I think jumping into the list, I'm going to ask you what you're looking forward to first.
You have to remind me what's even out.
Because okay then. All
Code Vein.
Well, Code Vein. I know you both are looking forward to, right? So that's coming out on the 27th, which is the Friday, on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Jake, what is it?
It's like Dark Souls, but with weebs.
Weep Souls.
No, it's Bandai Namco, who obviously must try to be cashing in on the fact that there's not going to be any more Souls games that they're publishing. So they're like, we want this, let's do our own spin on it. And of course, Bandai Namco love a bit of Japan and sort of Japanimation, the whole fucking... Do you know what would make this woman better if 90% of her top was ripped to shreds? So there's a lot of that. It looks... like
it's a lot of teenage angst as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's set in a world full of vampires. You yourself harness the power of blood. Hang on a minute, that sounds quite familiar. to sort of beat your way through this sort of vampire post-apocalyptic hell. It's set in like a contemporary world, but it just had a bit of
some cataclysms happened.
Yeah, like Darksiders 3 did it, where like. And same with like Devil May Cry and stuff, where it's just a random car, a modern day car, inside loads of grey vines. It's like that. You've got an AI helper. It is multiplayer. There's actually secretly, well not secretly, but quietly, because no one's talking about it. It's been a beta this weekend where, unlike the last beta, which was single player only, you could actually play with your mates, invade worlds and all that. It looks good. It looks like if you're into those sorts of games, it's scratching that itch.
It's even got like chalice dungeons and everything in it.
Yeah, properly does look like it is a Souls-like game, like, but
it's very fast as well.
Yeah, it's what I played. I played the first beta, and I got to tell you, I think it was just a demo. Like, the music was good, the art was on point, and I thought the combat was nice and fluid. Really, like it's got good potential to be. Like I liked Sekiro this year, and I liked Fire Emblem. Smash them together, Code Vein. So I'm up for that, to be honest.
I think it will. I think it feels like it's going to get pretty good reviews. I think it feels like
embargo lifts like Tuesday, and the game's on Friday, so that's normally
it's a confident sign.
That's quite ballsy, isn't it?
Yeah. So good feeling about that one. So keep an eye out on that if you're interested in everything that Jake's been talking about. for the last 2 minutes. The 24th of September is a very busy day as well. So that's Tuesday. So the Surge 2 is coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So
another Souls game.
Another Souls game.
Yeah. Well.
Souls-like.
Yeah.
Trying it.
Did you guys play the Surge 1?
Yeah, loads.
I played a little bit of it.
I played it a lot.
When I say loads, I mean I played it again a month later, played it again a year later. I kept trying to get into it, and I kept thinking it's all right.
It is good. No, I think
sci-fi.
it is. Yeah, but I like that. So I like what it did with, how do you make a sci-fi Souls thing like without just fucking putting a lightsaber in it, or giving them guns and that, and how do you make a gun work in it without doing what Bloodborne did?
Yeah.
But then they had like piston type. It was like mechanical and
hydraulic. The whole game felt
hydraulic type stuff.
Yeah, and they had like that sort of fucking Brad Pitt flying punch thing. That was a big part of it, and the feeling of mobility. Yeah. It was fucking
you could cut bits off and make weapons out of them.
That was the key thing.
Eye up parts of them, go into like some sort of VAT mode, chop it off, and take it.
Target like if you wanted to target like the right or left arm because they appear to have the sort of weapony type thing that you wanted. Good. It was a good game. So the Surge 2 is coming out on Tuesday, as I said. So that's one to look out for. Again, if you're interested in sort of Code Vein type stuff.
Yeah.
There's also Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition. Yeah.
Is that a Switch port?
It's on the Switch, yeah.
Oh, that's the 26th, sorry. So I got the wrong day on that. So that's coming out on the Thursday. So that's coming to the Switch on Thursday. Back to the 24th. Baldur's Gate. Is that happening?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
all these collections.
1 and 2, Planescape Torment and Neverwinter Nights.
But they're coming on current gen consoles, basically, aren't they?
Yeah. And I think it's a 2-for-1, isn't it? Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
I think they're in like double packs, aren't they?
Cool. I think it's Neverwinter Nights and Planescape.
What about Icewind Dale? That's what's happening as well.
That's standalone. One of them standalone.
Right.
It might be Neverwinter Nights is standalone and Planescape. And
Neverwinter Nights could stand on its own.
I'm going to get Icewind Dale. Never played that one, and that's people reckon that's one of the best ones.
Okay.
Well, I've had a go with it, but I haven't you don't just have a go at one of these games, do you?
No.
You have to see it through.
Yeah.
So yeah, Baldur's Gate.
That's pretty
1
cool.
and 2. Yeah, time to relive this game. It's a game you're going to pick up and go, is this the one everyone's been talking about?
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's funny how that sort of that happens, but I think there will be a lot of people buying this and not playing it all the way through,
buying it out of respect in a way, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mario Kart Tour is coming out on mobile as well. I thought I'd give that a little mention.
Right, that's already been playable in some countries.
Yeah,
I think early versions of
they
them.
had like a beta going around.
That's it.
But it was region locked.
Heavily monetized from what I heard.
Well, yeah.
They still do well, those Nintendo mobile games.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing
laughing all the way to the bank, yeah.
So that's
Fire Emblem Heroes, that's doing well.
That's certainly you might be interested in that, mate.
Fuck it, mate, don't, yeah.
So that's happening on the 25th. There's honestly so many games. FIFA 20, fucking who cares about that? But that's coming out on the 27th.
A lot of people.
Yeah. You go. You'll have all the university students. That'll be the first purchase they make as soon as they get into halls.
Basically, anyone I know who plays games who isn't U2 is
definitely
getting it.
I like that you still said who. The people that matter don't care, right?
Yeah. So FIFA 20 is happening. If you. Whatever.
Every year.
Yeah. There's like a lot of Dragon Quest games coming on the Switch.
1, 2, and 3. And 11 S.
11S, yeah.
Which is just a enhanced version of Dragon Quest 11, which came out 2 years ago, maybe last year. I can't quite remember.
Okay.
But the weird thing is, it's on the Switch only, this version, and it's got a hell of a lot of additional content, which is not coming to the PC or PS4 platform, which is a bit shitty for the people who already bought the game once. But what are you going to do?
Interesting. That's pretty interesting.
There's a demo of it if you want to play it. It's quite good.
To be fair, them Dragon Quest lot love a demo.
Yeah.
It's fair dues to them.
It's a long demo as well.
Developers and publishers, you mean?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
It's like an 8-hour demo as well.
That's good.
That's what
it's the entire first act of the game.
They did it with Dragon Quest Builders, and I think just Dragon Quest 11's got a demo up now, so that's
cool. That's very good.
And then Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, just like NES games, given a fresh coat of paint, and they're good. It's like the same sort of deal with Baldur's Gate. You just sort of like pay respect to the elders. Sort of thing.
Exactly. A tribute to the
and then there's a couple of interesting ones for me anyway coming on the Switch. Ori and the Blind Forest It's on the 27th as well on the Switch, and then Jedi Outcast, the Star Wars game. The first Star Wars game that isn't a pinball game. It's coming on the Switch.
I thought you were joking about that, when I went on this eShop and I saw that Star Wars pinball up there, and I was like...
I don't remember much, mate, but Star Wars...
That pinball's actually not bad.
I think because Mike had said it
but
so
it
flippantly,
pinball,
like,
isn't it? So
all the other fucking Star Wars games are like pinball or something.
I didn't say it like that.
Do you know what I mean? Well, yeah.
That's too actively aggressive.
Okay.
I'm far more passively
You know
aggressive.
what I mean, though, right? And you weren't like dead set on it being pinball. I thought you were just using a bit of a wacky example, and I was like, yeah, but it's not really pinball, is it? It is really pinball.
Yeah. So this the first Star Wars game that matters is coming to the Switch. Is Jedi Outcast, which could be worse. And then last one I'm going to mention is Tropico 6, which is coming to consoles. I like the Tropico games, but I didn't get on with 6 very much.
Is that the one with El Presidente?
Yeah, well, they all, as in the series.
Yeah.
But you can. They're just a lot of fun, and to be honest, if you've ever played, I think a lot of people might have played like these, Planet Coaster and Jurassic World, Evolution, and these games and park management stuff. If you like them, it's probably worth thinking about Tropico, because it's just exactly that kind of, flavor of PC game. It does exactly the same thing.
And what are you on it? A dictator of a tropical island?
Yeah. But then there's interesting. So it is a city builder, and it's probably closest to like City Skylines or something. Mm-hmm. But it's got like personality, and the what happens in the campaigns and stuff is interesting, and then the scenarios that you're in, like a lot of Cold War stuff, and a lot of the Russians and the Americans, and you've got relationships with parts of the world, and you're shipping stuff out to different parts of the world, and the way that you're focusing your island onto like the port, and you've got heavy industrial shipping from your island, and that's where things go, and it's good. Like thematically, it's a really good game, but it's coming to console anyway. So if you want to, that's one thing I never got. I got Tropical 5 on.
Yeah,
so they gave it away. Yeah. Just fucking doesn't work for me. That just kind of. Not it doesn't work on a console, but right. Tropico 6 is coming to a console. Anyway, that's a very exciting way to end the 50th Special Moves podcast. If you got an email, send it in to dspecialmoves@gmail.com. We'll have a read. We had some fucking good emails this week. Good. Well done. Powerlifting, secret gaming.
Slacking off, yeah.
All of it was very good. So send it in to dspecialmoves@gmail.com. Remember, if you're a patron, you can get the bonus podcast every couple of weeks. Just check out our Patreon feed, and you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, and watch us on YouTube every week, but not next week. See you soon.
See you soon.